Hi, I'm Ashley Wigmore. I'm a licensed psychotherapist. I have experience in DBT, EMDR, and I also utilize a blend of object relations theory and CBT approaches. I live in the community of Huntsville, which is about 2.5 hours northwest of Toronto. The population is about 20,000 people. I've been working in the community of Huntsville for about 5 years now. I love working in a small community. There are not many licensed practitioners in the area. I'm one of the few who has specialization in trauma. This means I typically get referred the more complicated cases. I do bump into my clients frequently while around town. I make sure to cover what happens in those situations in my informed consent. For example, I will pretend to not even know them unless they first initiate the conversation.
My name is Casey, and I've been seeing a therapist for a year now, and I think I'm starting to get a bit better. Prior to starting therapy, I was diagnosed with a variety of issues, I guess you call them. Some of my previous doctors said I had things like PTSD due to lifelong abuse. They also said I have borderline personality disorder. There was something in there about abandonment issues as well. I don't know if I would call that an issue, though. Everyone else is just flaky and always leaves. I think I'm just being realistic. I do get depressed a lot. But seeing Ashley has helped with that, I've started being able to manage it a bit better. In fact, I used to feel so bad that I didn't feel like I could continue living most days. And even that's getting better. We've been working on assertiveness training, and it's going really well. I'm really starting to push my boundaries. Also, I finally met the most amazing guy ever. He's new to town and just perfect. I think he's the one. He's so honest with me and incredibly charming.
Hey, how are you doing? My name is Lincoln Ryan, but you can call me Link. I started seeing Ash, 2 months now? Things are going great. She's a real miracle worker, that one. Though, that might be because she's such a great client. Why am I seeing Ash? Well, I got to a fight and I may hit a cop one too many times.
With your car or with your fist?
Yes. I guess I just have an issue with people who think they can tell me what to do. I have to see someone now because they think I'm an angry person. But I don't see it. Do I ever think I'm going to reoffend? No, Link's got it too good to ever go back. Start seeing this new girl, she's a real peach. She's nice. A bit quiet, but easy on the eyes, and easy to get along with. For right now, she's a lot of fun to have in my life. Don't worry, ladies. Link is always ready and willing to mingle.
Oh, there's Cassie. And Link? Wait a minute. Oh no. Don't tell me that Link is the new guy that Cassie has been raving about. What do I do? I wonder if they both know that I'm each other's therapist. Quick, let's make eye contact and see. Nope. No acknowledgement. None. Crap. They must have not told each other that they're seeing me. This must mean that... Oh my goodness. I wonder if they've told each other about their personal histories. Like Link, hasn't he been telling me that he's been experiencing violent fantasies recently? What if he hurts Cassie and starts that abuse cycle over again? And she struggled with suicidal ideation in the past. Do I warn her? No, I can't do that. That would be breaking confidentiality. Not to mention, I seem to be making a few assumptions here. But oh my goodness, unless they tell each other that they're both seeing me, I can't let on to either of them that I know anything at all. They're both going to tell me about this relationship of theirs, and I'm going to get so triangulated. Can I really keep impartial? I'd have to keep both their stories separate and try to not to let on that I have information from another source that they don't know about. This doesn't work at all. I'm going to have to refer. But can I really refer in this situation? Both of them have been my clients long enough that if I try and break off this relationship, they'll know something is up. They'll want an answer, and I can't really lie to them in this situation either. What do I do? I need to talk to my supervisor.
What a dilemma. There are several key ethical aspects for the situation our therapist Ashley has found herself in. First, discovering that Link and Cassie are dating means that Ashley is now dealing with multiple relationships in a small town. This could have a negative effect on the therapy she is providing to each client. Ashley is not a couples counselor, but is now counseling a couple individually. Her duty is to each individual, but the interests of one client may conflict with the interests of the other. Cassie's safety is a concern. She has been suicidal in the past and could become suicidal again if there's a sudden change in her life, such as the end of this relationship or a break in the therapeutic alliance. Ashley is also concerned that Lincoln has a history of violence and he could potentially harm Cassie. If she continues to see both Link and Cassie for therapy, Ashley could potentially break confidentiality if she is not vigilant in keeping each person's information separate. There are limited referral options for Lincoln. Ashley lives in a small town, and not many therapists here work with clients who have been incarcerated. There are also concerns that Lincoln could reoffend if he does not continue with therapy or his anger is triggered. The players in this case are Lincoln, Cassie, Lincoln and Cassie's friends and family, Ashley, the therapist, Ashley's supervisor, the referral therapist, any consulting therapists on the case, the CRPO, Ashley, the therapist's legal counsel, police and other law enforcement, Link's parole officer or parole board, the local women's shelter, the suicide hotline, emergency response services, and the community at large. There are two possible solutions open to Ashley the therapist. Let's look at solution 1. Refer one of her clients to a different counselor in the community or close to the community and keep the other client. The benefits of choosing this solution are that Ashley does not have to worry about cross-contaminating information. Her emotional competence will be better maintained. There is less chance that she will break confidentiality. She limits multiple relationships and avoids risks of triangulation. She allows herself, as the counselor, to approach the counseling relationship with more integrity. She is meeting both clients' care needs by providing them with better objectivity. She is maintaining the ethical integrity of the counseling profession in the community by not allowing herself to enter a position that could be so damaging to trust. The costs for Ashley are that she needs to decide which client to keep and which to refer. She needs to find a way to honestly inform one client why she is terminating therapy and referring them to another counselor while not tipping them off to the fact that their partner is also a client of hers. This would breach confidentiality. She must find another competent counselor to take one of the clients. This may be difficult in a small town. Referring Link may affect his ability to maintain his parole. Referring Cassie may trigger her abandonment issues and suicidality. Ashley has to make the preferential choice between two clients. If one client finds out that she has referred one and not the other, they may think she's playing favorites. Solution 2. Keep both clients and continue therapy as usual. The benefit in this scenario is Ashley maintains consistency with her well-established client relationships and the progress made in the counseling alliance thus far. She maintains the principle of justice by providing services to clients who may not otherwise be able to access services in her small town. She maintains client autonomy by allowing them to continue to access a counselor of their choosing. The cost of this choice would be Ashley possibly unwittingly breaching confidentiality or possibly being triangulated within the couple's relationship. She might use the wrong information or outside information while working with each client. Ashley's objectivity and emotional competence as a therapist would be compromised. The therapeutic alliance with both clients could be completely ruptured if they find out she has been counseling their partner without their knowledge. The client's relationship could be compromised if they find out that they have been both seeing the same therapist. The ethical integrity of the counseling profession could be compromised if others perceive that she has been manipulative.
As soon as I found out that Cassie and Link were dating, I knew exactly what I had to do. I contacted my supervisor, and she agreed to meet with me right away. I explained the situation and my analysis, and she agreed with me that referring a client would be the right choice. She suggested that Lincoln was probably be the best of the two clients to refer, since I had already been seeing Casey for over a year, and Lincoln I had only been seeing for about 2 months. Also, there was the fact that my therapeutic relationship with Casey had been a stabilizing influence in her life, and we didn't want to upset that stability. Still, if I was going to refer Lincoln, I had to do my homework. First, I would have to find a referral therapist who would be willing to take on his case. I would also have to contact his parole officer to disclose that I would not be able to continue with the case and explain the other options that were available. Finally, I would meet with the client and present the situation to him. I knew that this was a delicate situation. My task would be to break the information to the client in a way that emphasized it was for his best interest and that facilitated the transition to be as seamless as possible for the client. My supervisor assured me that I wouldn't have to disclose anything further than it was a conflict of interest that was happening for reasons of confidentiality, but I knew that it might not be that simple. That's why I decided to make sure that there was a safety plan on site that day for myself, in case the client became violent. I also reached out to my own personal psychotherapist and made an appointment, so I could keep my own emotional competence in check throughout this process. Finally, I made sure to document everything, knowing that if the client ever discovered that I had been their mutual counselor, I would have the backup I needed to show that I had done my due diligence. I knew that if they did make that discovery, I should be prepared to one day have a meeting with them both, to explain my decision, the therapeutic reasons behind it, and to negotiate with them how they would like to continue. Hi, Nick.
Hey.
So, before we begin today, I actually wanted to take a moment to talk to you about something I've been going over with my supervisor, and it's come to my attention that I have a conflict of interest that is going to affect my ability to continue on with future sessions with you.
What type of conflict is this? Like, is there some math here, or what's up?
Right now, I can't share too much about it because that would be a breach of confidentiality for me. What has happened, though, is that if I continue on with our sessions, I don't think I'd be able to provide you the quality of care that you need.
So wait, this confidentiality thing you mentioned, you talked about that before. You mean like my secrets will get out or something?
No, this is a confidentiality interest that my role as a counselor is involved here. It's nothing to do with you in any of the situation in terms of this is nothing about your personality or your history or anything like that. I feel like we've been able to make some good work together. This has been about my ability to provide you with the service that you need.
So like I've been, this amazing client. I've been working really hard here. So you're telling me that we're stopping here? Like I'm not doing enough as it is already? Like, come on.
It's not that we are stopping here. My service with you might be ending, but one thing I wanted to talk to you about was the possibility. I've been asking around the area to find out if other people are available who can do parole, working with people who have court-mandated psychotherapy. And I found somebody who is willing to make that, to try that out with you. She actually isn't too far away. I was really lucky to find somebody close by. She's only about an hour out of the city. And she's willing to come in here to our last session, which will be next week, and to meet you and to have a chance to go over everything so that we can answer any questions that you might have, so that we can kind of pass the torch, so to speak.
So we're passing the torch to some new person I've never met from a town an hour away that I got to drive to now. 1 hour there, 1 hour back for 15 minutes of chatting.
I think what will end up happening is that you and her will be able to have a discussion next week about what that relationship would look like in terms of who travels where. We definitely want to make sure that you have accessible service. And so I've talked to the parole board as well, and they are aware that I am needing to give up this particular file, and so they are going to make whatever arrangements that they can as well to help out.
Well, if you have to stop seeing me, the parole board knows that. Can't we just say that I'm, cured? You've done miracle work. You're a great therapist, and I get to walk out of here and never have to do this again?
Unfortunately, that's not necessarily my call to say that you're cured. My job right now is just to meet with you and to continue working with you as long as you need it.
I'm not seeing the issue here. I'm not an angry person like they say I am. I mean, you've seen that. You've done great work with me. And I mean, you can just write off a little note saying, he's fine, everything's good, don't have to worry anymore, right? I can't see him, but it's okay. I've done all the work he's ever going to need, right?
Mm-hmm. Once again, I'm not a person who actually makes those sorts of evaluations. I am a psychotherapist, and my job is not to diagnose or to proclaim cured or anything like that. I can see that you're a bit frustrated.
Well, of course I'm frustrated. I got all these things going around. I got these rules to follow from the parole board. Got to now deal with that fact that I got to find this new therapist now who's not going to be as good as you are, and I got to deal with all that.
What makes you think that she might not be as good as I am?
Well, let's be honest here. I mean, I've been doing a lot of the work too, but you clearly brought me to this point where clearly I don't need to be here, right? So if I got to be switched around to somebody else, it's got to be how many months of getting to know me, and they're going to read the file from the parole board that says I'm an angry person, and I got to go through that whole rigmarole again. It's just a waste of my time, really. It's just, granted, you don't want my secrets getting out. That's why there's this confidentiality shtick going on. But I mean, what about me in this whole thing? Mm-hmm. All this extra time spent in parole that's going to be wasted.
I don't think it's going to be wasted. That's one reason why I was hoping to bring her in next session. Because then we would be able to kind of go over what we've talked about, and that we can actually bring up these concerns that you have right now and see what kind of connection that you two have, whether it will be something that you think you can move forward with.
It's not like I have much of a choice, do I?
Well, you do need to, according to your court-mandated psychotherapy, see a psychotherapist, but if she doesn't work out, we can see what we can find for you.
Well, it's not like I have much in the way of a choice. It's a small town. We got, you and some family therapy guy who can't see me because he has families. So if the only person's an hour away, I mean, shit.
I know it's been a bit of a challenge, hasn't it?
Well then. So, when do we meet this new person?
So what I would like to do is next week, when we have our regular meeting time, I'll ask her to join us. I'll introduce you to her, and you can bring as many questions as you have about the switchover, and hopefully we'll be able to answer them all.
She better not be bossy, I'm just saying.
I guess we'll find out.
Alright.
Ashley should ensure that she has a section in her informed consent about how she will deal with triangulation and multiple relationships, including the steps she will take to maintain client confidentiality. Ashley will maintain a professional network that includes referral counselors that will work with vulnerable populations. It will also include legal counsel. Ashley will seek additional ethical education and consultation in order to be better prepared for complex and ethically gray situations if they arise in the future.